Now to political news. Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley has dropped out of the race for the White House, setting up former President Trump as the presumptive GOP nominee in a rematch with President Biden. Joining me now live is on the 5:30 is University at Buffalo assistant political science professor Shawn Donahue. Thanks for joining me.
Yes.
How should the voting public look at this race, and do you think this will maybe pump up voters or not?
Well, what we see is that the majority of the American public has a negative view of both Biden and Trump. And now we're going to have 244 days of a general election that basically started today.
Professor Donahue, how should the voting public, when you think about what you said, that now it's on, right? Basically it's on. What are voters going to actually be looking at and looking for from both of these men?
Well, we have kind of an unusual situation where we haven't actually had since, I believe, in the later parts of the 19th century, where we actually have a former president running against an incumbent president. So Trump, I think, on his side is going to say that you were better off when I was president. Biden is going to say, no, you're better off with me as president and to reelect me.
We cannot ignore the fact that there is age in this, the age of the president, President Biden, and former President Trump. Will this presidential race mean that voters are going to pay more attention now to the vice presidential candidates?
I think that probably is true. You know, one of the things that Nikki Haley, whenever she was in the race, was trying to do was to say that, no, I'm really running against more Kamala Harris because Vice President Harris's unfavorables are pretty high. So we'll have to see. You know, we know that she will be the Democratic running mate. Trump has a number of people that are on his short list, or maybe it's a longer short list, so that I think that we will definitely be paying more attention to the vice presidential candidate.
All right. UB Assistant Political Science Professor Shawn Donahue, thank you so much for your time today and joining us on the 5:30.
My pleasure.